Good day, everyone. I am Tori Giffen. I am the Assistant Director of Online Programs here at the College of Education at the University of Illinois. I want to thank everyone for joining us today on our Instructional Design MasterTrack Certificate Program information session. I want to thank everyone for joining us so far and everybody who's watching this back later. Just want to let folks know a little bit about what we'll be covering. So we'll be covering some overview about the program, both of the two courses that are in the certificate program, and then giving a little bit of information about how the MasterTrack program can stack into the Master of Education here at the University of Illinois, and information on enrolling in the certificate program as well. Also, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, you can reach us at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu, and we'd be happy to answer those questions if you think of them later, if you don't ask them in the call, or if you're watching this back and you did not have a chance to ask us any questions live. We are happy to do that. And again, we will have plenty of time at the end of the presentation to answer anybody's questions here today. With that, I just want to quickly introduce some people that you might encounter as you go through the program. So there's Sangeetha Kapala-Christian, she's the Assistant Dean of Online Learning and Innovation. There's Brianna Davis, our Online Student Advisor. There's myself, and then there is Gina Poff, who is our Online Academics and Student Services Coordinator. In the program at a glance, just want to briefly touch on the Instructional Design MasterTrack Certificate Program. The program is built solving real-world problems and challenges and integrating a lot of today's technology and equipping you with the skills to do so, regardless of the technology that will be used as technology constantly changes. And you will master key concepts in instructional design and training, and technologies and more all throughout the certificate program. And we have a faculty member who will be sharing more about the course content here shortly. With that, just to give everybody a heads up, or maybe you have some questions about this, is the two courses in the certificate program are graduate level courses here at the University of Illinois. In the MasterTrack certificate program, you will be taking them on the Coursera program, but they are the same courses that are offered to University of Illinois students. The two courses include EPOL 472, which is for graduate credit hours, and EPOL 483, which is for graduate credit hours, for a total of 8 graduate credit hours that are the equivalent of graduate credit hours here at the University of Illinois and can be applied towards degree programs here in the College of Education. Some of the requirements and other information about the MasterTrack certificate program is we do require a bachelor's degree. Tuition for both courses is currently $2,384. It can take 3 to 5 months to complete. We'll get a bit more into that on why that's a range. If you've looked at the summer schedule is a bit condensed. You also might take only one course a semester, and so there's a different some different ways that you might progress through the program, which would change the time to completion. You do earn degree credit. There are weekly live sessions in the program, and there are hands-on projects. The program prepares students for a variety of careers in settings such as higher education, healthcare, IT, business, even K-12 in the military. And as you can see here on screen, there are some job titles that we have had graduates of this program go on to have. And with that, I am going to welcome one of the core faculty for the program that is currently teaching both courses, teaching both courses this semester, and will be teaching one of the courses this summer, Dr. Carolina Cuesta.
Thank you so much, Tori, and welcome everybody to this informative session. My name is Carolina Cuesta-Incapié, and I am a faculty member here in the Department of Education Policy, Leadership, Organization, and Leadership at the University of Illinois. It's a longer, very long name. And I am the faculty who is going to teach both of the courses that we have in the MasterTrack certificate. Currently, I research on creativity and creative thinking. So in some of the courses, we will touch some of those topics because nowadays we know that creativity is an important part of designing learning experiences. I have several disciplines in my toolbox or my knowledge toolbox. So my undergrad, it's in microbiology. So I do a lot of scientific thinking. I have 2 master's degree, one in innovation management and the other one in education. Then my PhD, it's in curriculum and instruction. And therefore, I bring a lot of interdisciplinary examples into our live sessions. And I think that it's important because we have to understand learning problems as general education problems, and that we have those problems in different disciplines, in different contexts. I am very excited that you are all here, and I hope that I can see you joining the courses or the program this summer, this fall, or spring. Next. So I will talk briefly about both of the courses that we have in this MasterTrack certificate program. And one thing that I want to mention before is that although I'm going to be with you in the live sessions every week, in the platform, you will have access to different learning materials, including videos that are designed and made by all faculty here in the College of Education. Therefore, you will have access to different professionals from different topics, right? So that is something that we like to highlight because you will get to know most all of the faculty here involved, right? So the first course is called EPOL 472, and this it's foundational course. It's a core course for us as instructional designers, and this course will provide you with the understanding of different models and theories to design learning experiences, right? So it's important that we talk about this part because, as I mentioned, it's a foundational course. So the first weeks of the course are going to be focused on different models and theories, and you will have that specific knowledge that is key to actually learn a little bit more about how we learn, how humans learn, and how can we use all these frameworks to design more tailored and personalized and appropriate learning experiences. So you will learn key components of instructional training system design, that guided by instructional design models and rooted in different learning theories, will help you design this engaging and efficient, effective learning experiences. Also, you will learn or gain a deep understanding on how people learn cognitively and emotionally, right? So in terms of those frameworks that we check in the course, you will understand how to design emotional learning experiences, but also how to help cognitively your future learners and navigate specific learning experiences so they can become meaningful and engaging. Next. So as you can see here in my right, we have an image that is mainly the framework that we use in this course, right? So we use a framework that is called ADDIE, Analysis, Design, Development, Implementation, and Evaluation, to actually go through the whole material in this course. So you will learn how to analyze a specific context, analyze the learner, analyze the needs of your learners, and how theory and models play an important role in this specific phase. Then you will have to design a specific approach to a learning experience before you start developing learning materials and a specific program. So For this course, we will have 3 major activities that are important for you to develop those skills in terms of how to analyze your learner. You will have an instructional design project, and this project we will talk a little bit more about each of these assignments because they are key for your understanding on how the program works. But the important thing here is how to connect all of these activities with the framework that we use and how theories and models inform your future designs, right? Next. So the major assignments, as I was mentioning, instructional design project, we will have instructional design case scenarios because learning through real world examples is the best way to learn these complex skills. So we use that different case scenarios for you to develop different learning solutions. And we have an e-portfolio development that for us is very important because it's a way for you to communicate your skills, communicate what you have learned, and for this to be a platform for you to use in the future, right? So you can use it with future employers or to just evidence your learning as an instructional designer. So we will work on learning how to do it. And also very important, you will learn how to use a specific software that we use for the e-portfolio, that is Adobe Express. And that is something to highlight in this course. Next. So for the instructional design project, this is a major project that is going to be developed during the whole 8-week course, right? And in this instructional design project, you will have to analyze a specific context. We will provide some context, but you can actually bring some context from your workplace or your community or your school. If you actually want to solve a specific learning problem, you can create a learning program that will solve this problem or take advantage of a learning opportunity. So you will be asked to design and develop this educational program to fulfill the learning needs of your target audience. So we will learn how to identify target audience, how to characterize this specific audience, and how to identify the needs that our learners or future learners will or have to design this specific project. We will focus on designing effective and efficient learning objectives. We will understand how those objectives are related to a specific learning outcome. And we also will select the specific learning technologies and how to integrate those technologies, developing learning materials, and also designing specific assessment, right? So here it's important to know that we will work on aligning pedagogy, content, and assessment, right? So you will focus on that. Next. We also have another major assignment, and is the instructional design case study scenarios, right? So you will have to choose one of these scenarios. You don't have to work on the 4 scenarios, but you will learn about the 4 scenarios, and you will choose a specific scenario in which you want to develop a specific learning solution. And these scenarios are important because we will work on topics like designing a budget for this specific learning solution, identifying the learner needs, developing specific learning materials and assessment for each of these phases of the framework. If you can see, each scenario is focused in one of the ADDIE frameworks, right? So we have analysis scenario, we have a design scenario, an implementation scenario, and an evaluation scenario. So depending on the skills that you want to develop in that specific moment, you will choose as a team, that is something important. As a team, you will choose one of these scenarios and you will develop a specific learning solution to solve this scenario. Next. Before starting with the EPOL 483, for each of the major assignments, even the ones that we have in EPOL 483, you will get feedback and continuous feedback with all of your major projects, right? So with the instructional design project, we have formative feedback. So we have stages of formative feedback in which you will present your specific part of your project. We will give you feedback and then you will continue to improve until the end of your project. So you will have continuous communication with the instructional team. That is going to be me, and we have a teacher assistant. And also for the design case studies, you will have a tailored and thorough feedback for all of your assignments, so you can actually improve upon those specific artifacts that you have created, and you can post them in your portfolio, right? So for EPOL 483, this is we call it the second course, but sometimes you can start with EPOL 483 and then continue with 472 and vice versa, right? So this course is extremely fun. And I'm not saying that the other one is not fun, but the other one is the foundational course, so it's going to be a little bit more challenged. And in this course, you will be able to apply everything that you have learned in EPOL 472. But if you haven't taken 472, you will learn new skills and competencies to actually use in your future EPOL 472. So this course is specifically focused on developing skills in identifying, selecting, justifying the implementation of learning technologies in the overall e-learning environment, right? So this specific course is going to help you understand what happens in an e-learning environment and how we are going to design solutions for an e-learning environment. And we call this environments TEAL, and this is technology enriched and enabled learning environments, right? And in this course, you're going to, I always say that it's very important because we talk about your design or designer philosophy, your designer perspective. And while you're learning on how do you approach learning problems, you start developing your own toolkit or your learning toolkit in which you, by having a specific designer perspective, have some tools and have some models and have some frameworks that you are going to keep using to design your meaningful learning experiences, specifically in e-learning environments, right? So here we will complete the learning or start the learning with other models and theories and frameworks that are specifically used in the e-learning environment, but mainly on how to use these models and theories to integrate effectively technologies into that environment. And therefore, this means how do we evaluate a learning technology, how do we design assessment for this specific technology, and how do we create these meaningful e-learning experiences. Next. So what we see here in my right, that is an image. It's the summary of the topics that we will touch in the 8-week course, right? So we say that learning technologies are aligned with all of these topics. So we will learn the learning design and technology field, how this field started and why the field started. So we will learn a little bit about history of the field. Then we will talk about how we learn with technology. So therefore, we will talk about the theories that are related with learning, like the cognitive load theory, right? So we will learn how to use this specific theory to design these experiences and understand how learning is paired with technology and how can we enhance learning by using specific technologies. Then we will study the theories, frameworks, and models for designing these specific e-learning environments. We will talk about the evolution of learning technology, right? And how learning technology is perceived as a tool, right? And how by using a specific design process or instructional design process, we create learning solutions, right? With different tools. Then we will talk about immersive learning environments, and here we talk about game-based learning, about simulations, how do we evaluate the specific technologies that are related to those specific activities or instructional strategies. So we will learn about different instructional strategies, right? And then we will touch trends and values for the future, right? So we will try to discuss how this field evolves and keeps evolving rapidly, and how do the skills that we just have developed are preparing us to take advantage of the new technologies. Next. So the major assignments that we have in this course are something that we call exploring learning technologies. We also have design case studies on learning technologies. So in this course, the design case studies are specifically related to the integration of learning technologies. And for here, we have optional the e-portfolio. So if you have been working in your EPOL 472 in your portfolio, here you can complement your portfolio with your new artifacts or your new activities or things that you have created. And if not, we recommend the students that start with EPOL 483 that actually do your portfolio. So when you're transitioning to EPOL 472, you already have your portfolio developed. Continue. Next. So the ELT, I don't know, and it's not here, but the ELT or the e-learning technologies, what we do with that activity is that each week, one team, this is very important. This MasterTrack certificate, what we also want is for you to develop collaboration skills that are extremely important for working in this type of environments. So most of the activities that you will engage in and on are going to be in teams, right? So for the e-learning technologies activities, you and your team will have a specific e-learning technology to discuss, and you will record asynchronously a video for all of the rest of the course to watch, because we will not have time to actually present. But the important thing is that we are building this knowledge repertoire in which you can actually go and check the different groups' presentation of the different technologies. So we will have simulations, we will have virtual reality learning technologies, immersive technologies, learning management systems, right? So each week we will have a new learning technology that will be explained by one of the teams, and then we will create this repository for you to access and check all the learning technologies of the course. Then for the design case study scenarios, here we will have a specific learning situation. And the scenario one is we will convert the company regulations and policies into an interactive e-learning environment, right? How do we do that? So we will have first some framework that we use in which you will design specific activities to do that conversion, right? And we will talk about that in the course. The scenario 2 is fostering safe and inclusive workplace culture through first-hand experience. And this scenario, these are actually scaffolded activities. So the first one is like a basic level of activities that you use that we call absorb type activities. So you will learn how to design learning materials that are related with absorb type activities. The second scenario is one level higher, and it's how to do type activities and how do we design for students, for learners, or for students, or for future learners to do firsthand, or to have firsthand experience, right? And then the third scenario is like the highest order level thinking, and here students will have to design learning materials that are intended to connect knowledge between disciplines, or to transfer knowledge from one specific context to another, right? And for this, we will use the improving transfer of learning and performance to various contexts. So you will learn with each of these case studies to go from the simplest way of designing specific materials, but extremely effective, until how to connect different knowledge and skills in different disciplines. Next. And for the e-portfolio development, we will also have feedback for the e-portfolio. So if you share your e-portfolio with me, you will have formative feedback in both of the courses. Even in this, considering that it's optional, you will still have feedback from me. And what we want for you to appreciate about this e-portfolio is the great tool that it is to sharing or communicating what you know about instructional design, these materials that you have been creating, how do you present yourself to future employers, and how you approach learning in general. That is why we talk a lot about your designer philosophy. How do you permeate that specific learning experience with some of your personality, but on your technical and instructional approach to learning. So we will put that also in our e-portfolio development. Next. And that's it. If you have any questions, I will answer them at the end.
Yes. And now I'm back. So with that, just want to touch on some other things related to the program. So as Carolina talked about the weekly video sessions. In addition to the weekly video sessions, there is the class sessions, there's group work, and then there's available office hours. There is also access to folks in online programs that we will get to in a little bit. So we had some questions that came in about some time commitments and things like that. So courses are typically 8 weeks long. They're a little shorter in the summer. They're 6 weeks long. And they'll be starting here in May into June, and then June into early August. The first 2 class sessions are required for each session. Participation is highly recommended. The sessions are really there for students to be able to interact with each other, the TA, if there's one in the class, and the instructor. You can expect about 12 hours of work outside of class sessions per week. And we mentioned, or I mentioned earlier, time to completion, some different options and what that kind of looks like. There is 3 months if you're taking, both courses this summer. There's 3 weeks of overlap for the 2 summer courses, so keep that in mind. And then there are options if you're only doing 1 course in the summer, and then you're doing maybe 1 in the fall, or if you're here early, and you're looking at registering in the fall or spring, there are those options. You get to 5 months if you take your first course at the end of fall and the beginning of spring, because there is that break when the college is shut down over winter. So with the Instructional Design MasterTrack certificate program, courses in this program, there are the 2 courses, both EPOL 472 and 483. Both can be applied directly to the Instructional Design Technology and Organization program that is also delivered entirely online. Those courses and credits do apply towards graduation. Just a little bit about this. So we have missed the summer A applications, but there is still June 2nd for term B. If you are looking at this program, say you are finishing up the MasterTrack certificate right now, that is still available. And then fall applications will open on July 15th. You can apply for this master's program while you are still in the Instructional Design Certificate program. Also want to let people know that you do have access to some career support while you're in the Instructional Design Certificate program. There are asynchronous career sessions and presentations available that the university has to offer you through the graduate college, through online programs from previous recordings. And then you also can schedule direct meetings with me as well. Just want to also let folks know about how to enroll in the program. So a bachelor's degree is required for the program. Along with that, students will submit a resume or CV if they have one for review and admission into the program. As we had mentioned before, the total cost of the program is $2,384. Each course separately is $1,192. If you register for both courses at the same time, you'll be charged the total for both courses. But if you register for one course at a time, you only get charged for one course. And you do not get charged that until your application is through and courses have started for the term. I do want to okay, perfect. Sounds like folks can hear me. Yes, if you're having any audio problems, please check your sound. But again, if you're having issues, the session is being recorded and we will get that sent out to everybody afterwards. So also want to touch briefly on payment options. There is no financial aid available for this program, but there are payment plans that are available through the Office of Financial Aid in the Bursar's office. You can see there at paymybill.uillinois.edu/payment/payment plan that you can get that set up. With that, you can start your application now as they are open immediately and have been for a little bit of time and will be until May 5th if you want to start with the first course 472 that is offered this summer. You can apply with the link that is here on screen. With that, do want to put the dates up here so that everybody can see that. So summer applications for 2025 with term A, which is starting with EPOL 472, close on May 5th and class starts the week of May 19th. Applications for summer 2025 term B close June 2nd and class starts the week of June 16th. You can register for both classes at the same time, or you can wait and register for both classes separately. Again, you can post questions in the chat if you have them there for us, or email us if you have anything afterwards. And do want to quickly give some high points about the University of Illinois and online programs. Before we get into the questions, we are a top-tier research university. We are currently ranked number 3 by U.S. News and World Report for our master's program, which this certificate program does stack into. We are ranked high in affordability. We have world-class faculty. You've been able to meet one of them today with us all, and you do have access to others through recordings and things like that, as Professor Carolina has mentioned. We have a real focus in online student engagement, and there are peers from all over the world that you will get to interact with, and we have extensive resources for online students, including access to our library. Here is just a screenshot of that ranking. We really do hope that you will consider joining us at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and we hope to see your application. And with that, we have plenty of time for questions. So I do see some quick ones that I can answer. I The slide deck will be included in the video link that will go out to everyone afterwards. We are seeing students being successful in finding jobs after completing the program. If you have more specific information about that, please email us and we can coordinate with you. There are application dates and deadlines for fall, and I think Sangeeta just posted the link to those also. They are on our website for fall, but you still have a bit of time if you are interested in that. Fall applications, I don't think are open yet, but they will probably open sometime in July. They typically open the first or second week in July. We do have a question here, and I'll let you provide some input on this, Carolina. From professor to student for instructional design, would you recommend starting with the first course or the second course? I know students can take courses in any other, but do you want to expand on that a bit?
That is a very good question. Like I mentioned, 472, it's a foundational course. So we recommend we start with 472. However, when we start with 483, we suggest students to actually take a look in the MOOC that it's offered because you will gain some specific insights and theories from there. And with this, I am saying that they complement each other. So even if you start one first or the other, you will gain the same experience. But 472 is more intensive in theory and this foundational knowledge. So if you're new to instructional design and you want to first have the base and foundation of instructional design, start with 472. And for 483, what we do is that we look at e-learning solutions in a more general sense. So we don't go into the nitty-gritty of instructional design, but we touch about some theories and models. So it's up to you, right? Actually, I don't have like a good answer for that. But if you are new in instructional design and you actually want to learn first about instructional design and then how to apply that knowledge in designing learning solutions, take first 472 and then 483. Or if you don't have time, for example, for the summer, you can do the 483 and do the MOOC. That if you go to the MOOC that people are talking in the chat, in the MOOC we have like the introduction to instructional design, and we only talk about the analysis phase. So you will have a general sense of the first stage of the ADDIE framework, and that could help you navigate some of the activities that we have in 483. And then if you take the 472, you will reinforce that specific knowledge.
We do have a question if there is any software that anyone needs to buy or use.
No, and with that, I'm going to complement. We don't teach about using authoring tools. For example, Camtasia, Articulate, or Rise, or other software to content production or video production. We don't spend our time there. However, if you enroll in the program, will have access as the University of Illinois student, you will have access to LinkedIn Learning. And in LinkedIn Learning, there is a lot of tutorials on how to use a specific authoring tools. With this, I say you can use authoring tools to develop some of the assessments, but we will not teach about authoring tools. And the other software that we use is Adobe Express. And you as a student or student here at the University of Illinois will have free access to the Adobe suite right? And this means that you will have access to Adobe Express for free. And I think that you will have access for a year, right? So you can like use the Adobe Express software to design your e-portfolio and use Adobe Express also has video production and audio production. So you can play a little bit with that software if you are enrolled. And those are the only major software that we use. So we don't have to learn about any other software or buy any other software.
Thank you for that. Did have a question about international students. We do have many international students in the program, and they do can apply. We do have a question about what Adobe Express is specifically.
So Adobe Express is, I'm not gonna say an authoring tool, but it's a specific, forgot the name in English, program. It's a specific program from the Adobe suite. You know, we normally use Adobe for reading PDF or for editing PDF, but Adobe has other type of program, and Adobe Express is one that is more for the video production, web page production, design of web pages, and we will use that specific, we will learn how to use it in the class. So we will have some experts that will teach us how to use Adobe Express to actually work on our e-portfolio. That is a specific web page in which you can add all of your learning materials and describe or talk about the skills that you have been developing in the course. Only Adobe Express.
Thank you, everyone, for all of the questions that you have entered in the chat so far.
You don't have to be tech savvy because, like I mentioned, we're going to know the foundation knowledge of instructional design, and then we will learn about how and different models and different theories, how to use them to integrate technology into a specific e-learning environment. And when I'm talking about technology, I'm not talking about a specific software or a specific device. When we talk about technology, it's any protocol, model, process, anything that it's the base of knowledge with a specific use. That is the definition of technology. It's not only a device, it's not only a software. So we will actually talk about that. What is technology and how can we identify different technologies to include them in our overall learning designs?
We do have a question about somebody who looks like they might be either looking to do instructional design in the healthcare field with dentistry, or maybe even doing a career change. If you see that question.
Yeah, great. So because these are two foundational courses, and it's important for all of you to know, these are part of different like concentrations in the College of Education. So you will actually gain graduate credit courses if you want to pursue a master or a PhD program in the College of Education. So they are the basic courses that all of our students in our master's and PhD program take. And actually, you will have the experience of learning with them, right? Because these are foundational courses. Our students from the master and PhD program are going to be in the course as well. So it's going to be an enriched learning experience, and you can exchange your expertise and perceptions and ideas with other students that are actually in the graduate programs. So I think it's a great pathway to start thinking about future research, but we don't do research in these courses per se. These are more hands-on, although theoretical, but with hands-on activities.
And thank you again for all of the questions. Do just want to remind folks that if you think of anything later, or if you are watching this back, you can email us at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu, and we can get you those answers. While you don't have to purchase any technology for the course, you are on Zoom. Zoom is utilized in the course, and then as a student, you also get full access to Microsoft Office 365 products. And so email for the course, you'll need to pay attention to your student email, that you will get your student account, and then you will get those resources that are available through Office 365 as well. So just want to let people know about that also.
And also you will have access to the library. So most of our learning materials or articles or textbook are available through the university library. There is one text in EPOL 472 that you will have to buy. We are working on how to have it through the university library. But what we recommend is if you are in teams, maybe buy one of the textbook and share it with your team, not with all of them, like publicly, but for learning purposes. And this textbook is the foundation of instructional design, so it is recommended for you to have it. And you can access it as an ebook or a physical book. So that is the only thing that you have to actually buy. But it will serve you forever. So I can answer both of those questions. So for the team assignments, what we do is that you will have to fill a survey before starting the course. So you will have to pay attention when you enroll in the MasterTrack, so you can activate your email, your university email, because that is going to be our unique way of communication through the university email. And when you fill that specific information, we will ask some questions for your locations, your expertise, experience, and interest, and we will build the teams according to that. The most important thing is because this course, sometimes we have students from, Saudi Arabia and Africa and Hong Kong. They have different time zones. So what we want to provide for you is an easy way to meet with your team in the same time zone. So that is one of the first criteria that we use to build the teams. And once you complete, Tori, you can say, what do they do when they complete the course, the both courses?
Yeah, so once they complete both courses, you will get your MasterTrack certificate from the University of Illinois in partnership with Coursera. This is delivered to you via Credible, and then you get an account there that allows you to be able to access it and certifies the credential for you. Also, if you're interested in continuing on your studies here with us at the University of Illinois, we do have another graduate certificate program. This program can stack into if you want to keep going that way. Or you can explore our master's degree in instructional design, technology, and organization, or all at the same time, you could explore the job market.
So I'm going to add textbook because it's a very helpful and practical textbook for all of you to have.
I have some links. Is it still the...
I put it in the chat.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So this textbook talks about all the stages of the ADDIE model and all the activities that you have to go through in each of those stages from a theoretical perspective. But we also have instructional strategies, evaluation techniques, and even project management for instructional designers in that book. So it's a great book.
And then we still have plenty of time, but I do want to get some feedback from everybody on how things went. So we are not done yet, but before I forget to ask people for feedback, I have one more poll to ask everybody. And thank you again for all of the questions. Thank you everybody who has attended. Thank you all who are watching this online at a later date. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach us at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu.
Yeah, the thing that I recommend if you're gonna start is to start with one course. Remember that in the summer, well, you will have to, in one semester, like spring or fall, you have to take two courses because one course is the first 8 weeks and the second course is the rest of the 8 weeks. But in the summer, we have this 3-week overlap. So this is a time commitment, right? So if you know that you have time to take two courses at the same time, go for it because you will finish the program faster. But if not, please be mindful with your time, with your mental health, with your time for your family and everything, because we work hard in this course. But at the end, it's very rewarding when you have your own learning program develop and you can actually see what you did in 8 weeks. And that is extremely valuable for all of you. So yeah, evaluate that too.
Again, just want to remind folks that if you're hoping to start this summer, applications for the 472 are May 5th. And then if you are looking to take 483, those are due June 2nd.
And we will start June 16 for 83.
Any last moment questions?
Sure, it's I cannot say it's the same to start with either, but it's okay if you start with 483 and then you can complement with 472 or vice versa. It's the same portfolio. That is why we recommend for students that in 472 is mandatory because we want actually for you to develop skills that are transferable to that specific artifact that you're creating. And so you have 3 moments in which you present your e-portfolio and we give feedback. And in 483 is optional. So if you are enrolled in a program, you actually will have to do your e-portfolio or in 472, or if you start in 483, then you don't have to use it, or you can complement it in 472. But you for sure will have to do an e-portfolio.
Yes. Let me see. You're asking for the link. Also, if anybody joined late and missed anything, this is a great opportunity to just remind folks that this session has been recorded. All right, looks like that's all the questions for tonight. Again, if you think of anything afterwards, you can reach us at onlineprograms@education.illinois.edu. We really appreciate your interest in this program and hope to see your applications for this summer or maybe even in the fall.
Thank you all.
Goodbye.